Chris, and welcome back. Hi. If you've been coming, I am so glad you're here. If you are new, hello, hello, hello. I'm Miss Kate, and this is our date with Miss Kate. We are doing books again today. Before I forget, check below. Details for the project are always down there, as well as some other ways to get in touch with me, and you can even leave a comment like 2 thumbs up, Miss Kate, or yes, Spencer.
Or they can write me a message. Meow.
Or you can leave a message for Spencer even, and I'll make sure he writes you back. So anyway, let's get back into this. Yesterday we talked a little bit about fairy tales. We're going to talk a little bit more today and do another fairy tale project. So I thought I would tell you about these 2 brothers. Their names were the Brothers Grimm. Some of you might have heard of them. Grimm's fairy tales? Well, some people think they wrote fairy tales, and they really didn't. They collected fairy tales. They decided that they were together going to go all around the world or their neighborhood area and collect the stories that people called fairy tales. So that's what they did. They went around and they would ask local townspeople or friends or neighbors or someone who knew someone and say, tell us the fairy tale, we're going to write it down. And so they went and collected it. And then they went to another town and said, hey, can you tell me the fairy tale here? And they wrote it down. And they collected about 200 fairy tales. And they put them all into one book. And that's how we know of Grimm's fairy tales. Now, I will tell you, those fairy tales weren't the way we think of fairy tales today. Lots of them did not have those happy endings. They were kind of dark and morbid and dealt a lot with some kind of scary stuff. But as time has passed, we've adjusted them and we've made them a little more happy and a little more whimsical. So a couple of things that I thought we could talk about today are the people that are in fairy tales and kind of what happens to creatures in fairy tales. So usually there's a king and a queen and they rule over a land. They're like the realm, or they have a kingdom. They also might include a prince and a princess, and usually those 2 fall in love. Okay, we'll stop there. Those are the characters. They make up the kind of the story. They talk to each other. And like I said yesterday, those are the good guys. Those are the protagonists. With them, there's usually that bad one called antagonist. We're going to stick with the good ones today. So they live in their castle, and something usually happens. A spell is cast, or a storm comes, or some kind of event that causes a problem. And typically, that prince or princess, they're the ones that go and try to solve it and figure out how to make it better. Well, come along that antagonist again, and they kind of do some weird magic a lot of the time. One thing that they do is alter animals or things. They might make animals talk, or they might turn a person into an animal, or they might make everything freeze. Do you think I got frozen? I didn't get frozen. I was just pretending. But they have this spell and they cast it down, and it changes how normal things in life work. Usually that protagonist, the good guy, saves the day, and the whole story ends with a happily ever after. Sometimes too, there's already talking creatures in a fairy tale. If you think about Cinderella, she had those little talking mice. Cinderella, Cinderella, every day, Cinderella. Or you might think of like Bambi, where it was a deer and it talked. Even Beauty and the Beast had talking objects, let alone a beast that talked. So talking creatures, talking objects, that was normal back then. That was a part of fairy tales. And it's another clue for us when we're reading a story that, oh wait, that's probably a fairy tale. Because we had some clues yesterday. One was once upon a time and happily ever after. One was they live far, far away. We never really know where this far away is, but it seems very fun. And now we've got that there's talking creatures, or there's creatures that become things that can talk. So I thought, we've talked a little about kings and queens, and we've talked about talking creatures. What if we mush the two together and we make some pets that are royalty? Spencer already is excited about this. But we will do some puppies and kitties, or dogs and cats, that are royal. They're the ones that live in the castle. This will be a fairy tale about them. And then when we're done, you can go create a story in your free time. So let's do this. Gather up. We'll stick with some basics today. Paper, pencil, whatever you like to color with, black marker. If you have that pattern sheet, which it's down below, grab that. If not, I'll put it up on the screen anyway. We'll use that today. We'll work on some patterns. Yeah, I think that's about it. Get your stuff. I will get my table ready, and I will see you in 2 snaps of a finger click. All right, artists, here we go. So let me show you what we're doing. We are going to be making our royal pet portraits. So I have a king puppy and a queen kitty. You are going to have the option to do both at the same time with me, or you can just do one or the other. That's up to you. I'm going to guide us through them both at the same time. So first things first, get your white paper. And if you are going to do both with me, what I want you to do is take your paper and fold it in half. Put a crease, open it back up, and draw a straight line right on top of that crease you made. I don't have my ruler nearby, which I usually do, so I'm going to have to just wing it. Okay? So now I've got room for both of my portraits. If you're only doing one, then you don't have to worry about doing that. Or if you want a puppy and a puppy, or a kitty and a kitty, you can do that too. So this will be my puppy drawing. This will be my kitty, but there's multiple options you can choose. For both of them, we're going to start with the head. And we're not starting at the top, not at the bottom, in the middle. We're going to draw the letter U for whether you're doing a puppy or a kitty. Okay? And remember, you can just do one, you can do both, you can do 2 the same. Now for the puppy, what we're gonna do is on this right side, we're gonna make our U go up a little teeny bit higher. Did you see that? Just a tad. We're gonna add the crown up here. It's kind of gonna look like it's a little tilted. So it's a diagonal line that connects the top of our U. Then we're gonna do another diagonal line going up and out a little bit. You doing okay? Remember, at any point, if you need to, go ahead and pause the video. We'll be right here waiting for you when you get back. Now, to make the pointy part of the crown, they're the letter U. Oh my, we're using a lot of U's today. And they're just kind of connected. So U, I don't even pick my pen or pencil up. I fit 4 U's on that one. So what those are going on, let's add to our kitty. We're gonna do its ears, which are going to kind of be from this U, this side. We're gonna curve it up and back in. Did you see that? We'll do it on this side. Curve it up and back in. Now you could say, Miss Kate, I have a different way of doing ears. That's totally fine. Go for it. I'm just giving you the way I've done it that might make it a little easier. If you have another idea, I'm all for it. I love the creativity that you guys have. We'll add a crown to this kitty, straight horizontal line between the ears. We're gonna add those vertical lines going, or diagonal lines going up, and connect them just like we did with our puppy with the U's. U, 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 U. Now, you can jazz up your crown any way you want. There might be jewels on the top of it. There could be some designs on the inside of it. Anything goes. Actually, I've never seen a crown for a cat or a dog, so we're making something new. I like when I put these little circles on. So I'm gonna do those. And put like a wavy line in this one. And if you notice, I messed up a little bit right there. Miss Kate makes mistakes too sometimes. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna make it, that's part of the drawing. And I kind of did it on purpose. So just know that sometimes we don't always make things look exact, and that's okay. All right, how are we doing so far? Pretty good? I'm so excited. Can't wait to have these done. All right, let's go ahead and we'll work on our cat for a little bit because we did the dog first. We'll give it a break. We're gonna put those little triangles in its ears. Those are usually like where the hair grows a little different, it's different color. And we'll get our face going. So cats have a nose that we're gonna use as an upside down triangle. It's straight, diagonal down, diagonal down. Did you get that? Okay. And its little mouth, we do a J and then a backwards J. And lastly, we'll put on some whiskers. I have a fun fact for you. I have been reading a cat magazine. Spencer bought it for me. It's all about cats. Did you know their whiskers? There's exactly 12 of them. And they are sensory. They pick up on things in the atmosphere. So cool. I didn't know. Now I do. We'll add in some eyes. And many of you, if you have cats, know cats have kind of that like little slit in their eye. So you can do that kind of eye. But if you want to put like a heart for the center, you can do that. If yours is a boy cat and you want it to have like eyebrows, you could do that. If it's a girl and you want to make it girlier, you can do eyelashes. You could even put an earring, a fancy earring on its ears. Totally up to you. I'm going to move over to the puppy now, because those who are waiting for puppy are patiently waiting. We'll add inside of our puppy's face. For our puppy, we're gonna make its nose a little rounder. So it's kind of like a smushed oval. It's not as pointy and triangular as a cat. It gets the same thing for its mouth. The J forwards and then the J backwards. And I think for just a little extra touch, we'll add its tongue sticking out. That's a letter U. Another letter U. Man, U is a popular art letter. Okay? And let's add some puppy eyes. Puppy eyes, I always think of being really big. So you can make them as big or as small as you want. Again, you can do eyelashes, you can do eyebrows, whatever you feel like. And this needs to look a little more like a puppy, so we are going to add some ears. Watch carefully, because I don't know how to describe this shape, but you go out, and you go down, you curve, and you go up. It's kind of like a wavy line that goes down and then swings back up. And you can do that on the other side as well. Go down, curve, back up. Doing okay? Great. We really only have about one more step left. We're gonna add the body for our pets. So I'm just gonna do, it's kind of like an upside down U that got covered. And if you notice, I have to go behind the ears because they're in front of the puppy's body. I didn't go all the way to the bottom. So you can, that's totally fine. What I did on my original is I left the bottom so I could give them their cute names. This one I put a little fish and it says Queen Kitty. This one I put a dog bone and it says King Puppy. I'll do that again down here in case you want to see how it works. So, but you don't have to. I just do a straight line across. Again, no ruler. Just gonna have to wing it. And here's how I do my fish. I do a vertical line up and down. And then I, watch this. I go from the top, I go down, swing around, and then back. Okay? Down, swing around, and back. That's a really simple fish. If you know a different one or you don't even want to put a fish, that's totally up to you. That's just in case you're not sure. And the dog bone, this is how I do it. I do a bump, kind of like a bird. You might kind of draw, oh, now it looks like a letter, the number 3. And I do one on this side. And that kind of looks like the letter E in cursive. And then I just connect them with 2 horizontal lines. Simple, nothing too extravagant. Now, before we move on to our background, you can jazz up your puppy and your kitty. You could put a necklace on, you can give it a special medallion, it could wear a tie. Your puppy could have spots on it. So maybe this one's got some brown spots. So you can add those in. It's got one on its tummy. I'll give him like a special jeweled necklace thing. And this one's gonna be a girly one. So she's gonna have a beautiful pearl necklace with a little heart charm. Okay? So I'm gonna venture to the background with you, and then you guys are gonna have the chance to color these any way you want. The background, what I'd like us to do is put in some patterns. Patterns are a shape or a line that repeat over and over and over. Because they repeat, we know what to expect. We know what the next part of the pattern will be. But when they're put into an artwork, they create a really cool design in the background. The background is the area behind the picture in the front. So what we're gonna do is, I've got my pattern sheet up and I'm gonna cover the puppy so you all can see it better. I'd like you to go ahead and with your marker or pencil, just draw some straight lines in the background. Not a ton, not a ton. You'll be here for centuries. Just maybe like 6. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? You don't need many more. We're gonna put a different pattern in each one. If you had like 500, oh, you'd be here forever. Have gray hairs by the time we're done. So, looking at this pattern sheet, you can go ahead and fill in each one. But the cool thing is, if you have your own pattern design, you can do that too. I'll start simple. So I'll just do some straight line, dot, dot, dot. Straight line, dot, dot, dot. Straight line, dot, dot, dot. Then maybe here I will get a little more jazzier and put some circles. But I'll do some big ones, some small ones, some medium-sized ones. Okay, and you can go ahead and join me right now. Whether you're doing 2 portraits or you're doing 1, let's do this for the background because it makes it look really cool. Now I'm gonna put in some, maybe I'll put more little fishies in this one. Because you know, cats supposedly like fish. I'd have to ask Spencer on that one. So put these in here. We're gonna leave the background black and white. It's gonna just kind of be there. I would rather the cat be the thing that pops off the page. I'm gonna put just some straight lines. Straight, straight, I'll skip. Straight, straight, skip. Straight, straight. Okay, and if you come up with a new pattern design and you want to share it with me, I would love to see that. Because you know, sometimes Miss Kate gets totally stumped for ideas too. It doesn't always, like the ideas sometimes get stuck on my tongue and they just don't know how to come out. So if you have a new one, I would love to see that. What else can we add? Maybe I'm gonna do a circle that gets bigger and bigger. We would call this concentric. One is within the other. That's a fancy math word. concentric circles. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up one more shape design here. Since I got curvy stuff here, I'm gonna just keep with some lines. I'm gonna do some this way so it kind of is like checkered. Okay, and you can do that now. If you've got two animals, do it to both backgrounds. If you have both the same animal, like maybe it's a dog and a dog, you can still do it. They could be matching, they could be different. If you get a chance, create a name for your animals, and then go ahead and color these in. Crayons, markers, color pencils, oil pastels, watercolor, whatever you like. And while you're doing that, I will pause the screen and leave this up so you can see it, and I'll flip it around and give you a send-off. Okay, awesome work today. That was super cool. I would love, if you get a chance, to create a story about your puppy or kitty or both. Maybe they live in the castle that you made yesterday, if you made that with me. Or maybe they just have, you're gonna create a brand new fairy tale. We can be authors and illustrators and artists. We can do it all. So I want this to kind of give you an idea. Or maybe you're just gonna create some kind of new name that doesn't exist. So think about it, have fun with it. If you finish and you can send me pictures, I'd love to see them, or drop a note down below what you made. I even love reading stories, so I am up for a good old story one of these days. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get ready for it tomorrow. We are going to be delving into the world of fantasy. Fantasy is stuff kind of like Harry Potter and that kind of stuff. And we're gonna do some magic spells tomorrow. So I'm really excited for that. You guys finish up, take whatever time it takes you. If you get a chance, get some fresh air, take a big breath and soak it all in, be kind, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.